Hello guys, Lord X is here, and as you can tell looking at this screen, this is Final Fantasy XIV Online, A Realm Reborn. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to do this game, or how, more likely how to do this game. Before we proceed, I'll just go over to Data Center here and leave this on this screen for the different data centers and the different servers to choose, because it will cut off the title screen and put us somewhere else. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to do this game because it's a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, which means it's constantly online all the time and you're in a world with thousands, potentially even millions of other people all at once. So, yeah, I wasn't sure how to do it, but I wanted to do it because, not just because it's a Final Fantasy game and one of the best Final Fantasy games, in my opinion. The story's amazing. The world building, because it's an MMO, is amazing, but I wanted to cover it because of the effort they put in specifically to this game and the fact that it's an online game akin to stuff like World of Warcraft, but from Square Enix and Final Fantasy's take on it. It was always strange to me that they labelled this as one of the numbered series of Final Fantasy games, one of the main series, because they've done that twice now, and that's odd. They should have just, in my opinion, they should have just called it Final Fantasy Online, but they didn't. They called it, this one specifically, Final Fantasy XIV, and the original online Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy XI. I don't know why they chose to do this. There is no reasoning, as far as I know, but they did. So, but I will be listing it as Final Fantasy Online when I upload it. That's the folder it'll be in, that's the playlist it'll be in, and that's what I will refer to it as. At least on the channel, it will be, when I'm talking, it will still be referred to as A Realm Reborn, or Final Fantasy XIV. And that's another good thing, or another reason I wanted to do this. This is known as A Realm Reborn. When Square Enix first released this particular online game, I can't remember when it was a few years ago now, although it still looks amazing for its age, specifically a very amazing looking MMO. It was met with really harsh critical acclaim, really harsh, but for good reason. The system didn't quite work very well, it was very janky, it didn't quite take the tropes of modern MMOs and current MMOs now of this day and age. Instead, it relied on trying to be its own thing, which is fine if your identity works along with all the other gameplay elements, and try to stick to conventions that were very similar to Final Fantasy XI Online, which has its own hardcore fan base, but is a very different online game compared to things, again, like World of Warcraft. So different, in fact, and so rigid, in fact, that people don't necessarily like that. And it was not good. So, because of this, what they decided to do is fire or get rid of their whole staff that made the game and destroy the servers it was built on and build it again from the ground up, only taking what small amounts of story from Final Fantasy XIV Online they thought were good and literally rebuilding the game from the ground up. And they done this in a very short space of time and re-released it as Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn to huge critical success, and the game itself today is now rated as one of the best MMORPGs in the world, and for good reason. They made everything so much better, they corrected everything, they done exactly everything they promised, and the game has now been a huge success. Massive, in fact. It is one of the only subscription-based MMOs that still run to this day, and for good reason. Again, it's an amazing game with a very good storyline that is slightly convoluted, like a lot of Final Fantasy storylines, but is good nonetheless. So I'm going to start the game. I'm going to get into episode 1. Sorry for my waffling. I will try and leave an annotation to let you know exactly when you don't have to hear me talk about this game anymore, and you can actually start seeing it play. However, directly after I've done this part, I'm going to show you the character I created, to start the game with. So you'll be able to look at that and judge me on my fashion and well, not so much fashion sense, but taste in character design. It will be very bland. You're not going to enjoy that much. And then we'll get into the game. But I will also add the cutscene that is the intro cutscene for this entire game, or opening movie, whatever you want to call it, because in my opinion it is by far one of the best I have seen in any computer game ever. Not just a Final Fantasy game, any computer game ever. It's very long. It won't make a huge amount of sense because there's a lot of action, a lot of war, a lot of characters that are specifically related to this game and no other. Not even another Final Fantasy game, because they don't do that. So it won't make a lot of sense. It didn't the first time I watched it, but even the first time I watched it, I watched it and was just like, wow, that's amazing. It sent shivers up my spine, tingles down my arms, and it still does to this day. It's an amazing bit of computer games CGI. In fact, it's close to what I've seen in CGI movies. It is very good. And it just the music that goes with it is epic as well. So you'll see that. Hopefully you'll watch the whole thing, even though it's nothing that will make a lot of sense to you. Hopefully you'll just go, wow, that was I don't know what I watched, but it was amazing. So I'll add that in, and then I'll add that after showing you my character, and then I'll start the game. Then there'll be the proper intro to my character in the game and how we end up in this world and what's going on, and we'll go from there. And I'll play this episodically, get you in. The reason I'm also playing it again now is because since a couple expansions have come out, there's been a few huge updates that have made it easier for me to play again. Beforehand, you had things called classes or jobs or whatever they're referred to specifically in this. Obviously, where you could be your mage, your warrior, whatever. And you used to have to take a sub job, a secondary job, to back that up at a certain level. I think you still do, but it's not required to level anymore, as far as I'm aware. They've done an update where the skills that you need to pull over from said secondary job or class to make the initial class you were better and playable later level in teams or parties, sorry. That's not necessarily a thing anymore, which means I can play the game fluidly as one class I want to play as, which is what I was hoping for. Anyway, with that being said, let's get in to Final Fantasy XIV Online, A Realm Reborn. Okay, boys and girls, so just before I get into the game proper, I wanted a quick chance to show you the character I've created. Very standard looking, as you can see. Normal male human, or higher in this case for this game. The appearance is obviously custom. Name day or birthday of the character is the 32nd son of the 6th astral moon even. I'll let you guess what that is in real days, because it does match up with our real calendar, the Gregorian calendar, so I'll let you guess what this character's birthday is. It is the same as mine. There's a clue. I chose the Guardian Natural Deity as Rauga, the Destroyer, which is closest to the Mage deity you can get. My starting class will be Thaumaturge, which is what becomes a Black Mage. So that will start me in the city of Udar. I am not only on the European server, but I am on the specific server of Omega. And I could have given my character the name Lord Exus. I know it's available because I quickly chose a template and done that. I'm not going to do that because the NPCs in the game will always refer to your character by their first name. And when I eventually join a guild and that, they will probably refer to me by my first name. So I had it as my name, a bit cheesy, not gonna lie, as Exus Spellweaver. So since I intend to only be a mage type with this character. So with that being said, let's get in.
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Okay guys, so that was the intro cutscene, my custom character in some sort of dreamlike realm, facing off against a man in a red mask and black robes. A brief bit of exposition there where some random woman's voice talking to him, so we have no idea what that's all about. And yeah, and into the game. So I'm going to have to read this to you because of all MMOs. The characters may have voices, but they don't talk whole pages of dialogue. So this is just us now. Hey you. Oh, I always do that every time. Don't, wrong button. Nope. Okay. You alright, lad? This is this guy talking to us. You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the aether, I reckon. You'll get used to it though, don't worry. Sub-commands. See if I can get rid of this. Don't think I can. Once it appears, I think, yeah. Inspection, men, search the carriage. These guys have just pulled us over. Let's listen. See what they've got to say. The grizzled passenger. I'm just an honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. These guys are called the Brass Blades. Sir, look, Somnus. Honest peddler, was it? So since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? Ooh, that boy got the 420 shit. You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days unless you can afford the fine. Yeah, business as usual. Fucking arrow. Almajar, Almajar. 2 arms, 2 arms. So, and that's an Almajar over there. Beastmen. 7 hells. Consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. Shit, boy, you got wrecked. Phew, that kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful round them brass blades, lad. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we've got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Oh, elf children. Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see? Yeah, a bit quiet. Brent's the name, and peddling's my trade. Brent the merchant. I do not like the collar my guy's wearing, a little faggy necklace. We will be getting rid of that. Judging by your unusual garments, I wager you're one of them new adventurers. Sup? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call a living. As long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business these days especially. What was it that first attracted you? I'm gonna go with to gain power. Power, eh? As in the power to do good, like protecting the weak and fighting for what's right and all that, eh? I thought that's what you meant. Well, adventurers do get up to a lot of fighting, that's for sure. You'll never be short of a chance to polish your warcraft in the adventuring business. Oh, I knew it was going to go into that tab. No, that one. There you go. When you arrive in town, you best enroll at the Adventurers Guild. They'll set you on the right path. And it wouldn't hurt you to join a guild neither. Uldar's home to a few. So if you fancy learning how to fight with a sword, your fists, or even spells, you should think about seeking one out. Just remember though, there'll be more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Uldar? For the sake of the game, we're going to say yes. It is? Well then, let this journeyed... I don't know that word. Eternant, sorry. Tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Uldar's ruled by the Sultana in name, but most folks know the Syndicate holds the real power. Them and their monetist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists. And the Royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no signs of stopping. Of course, the lizard men, that's the Amalja, Couldn't care less about Uldar politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers, need, breed and profit, and though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. Ah, at long last. Behold Uldar, the jewel of Fanalan, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Uldar. Even with the coming of the 7th Umbral Era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lad. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's on the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for putting up for me prattle. You never did tell me your name though, but hey, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider a square. What a nice fellow.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
So we're in the city now, guys, and the game is going to tutorialise us a little bit for those new players that haven't played any MMOs before, specifically not a Final Fantasy MMO either. Oi, Venturer, over here. Aye, I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance? Yeah, how can I tell? Heh. Name's Wymond. I'm guessing that's Wymond. Could be Wymond. I'm going for Wymond. And my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge, even. Just this once like. Well, I believe we would be inclined to accept that offer. Right, Exus Spellweaver, there we go. Welcome to Uldar, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Falalan. Please select the control screen you wish to use. Yeah, I'm not using a controller. Mouse and keyboard for all MMOs and anything that's even remotely PC-like. Yep, I know how it goes. Walk to Wymond. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I like the camera being quite up close. HUD layout. please. This is just coming down here. This is a new thing that they added after the last game. It's transparent now. It starts appearing when I start using magic. It's an elemental sphere of sorts. Can pan the camera with the mouse, obviously. I tend to leave it stuck about there. Just have it closely follow my guy. Anyway, let's talk to this guy. Initiating quests. It just tells us how to like tap on them and basically do that. To be recognised as an adventurer in the city-state of Uldar, you must register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. Okay. It is plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest dark alley, you'd certain get mugged or worse. And I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the Quicksand and speak with Momundi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with adventuring, adventurer. Cool, cool. You've begun a quest. Use your duty list to help you complete your task. Quest title and duty list. Duty list being this down here where my arrow is. Coming to Uldar, speak with Momundi. Actually, that's another thing we have to check out. I made that the elemental gauge too high up. It needs to come down a little ways under the duty list. That's a bit better. I won't be getting in the way. I'll only get in the way if there's multiples. Okay. So we only have Blizzard, I believe, is a spell. I'm not sure if that's not K. S. Current main scenario up the top there as well. We have 4 males. I'm on the right. Just getting used to what the keys are. What are the skills under logs, duty, travel, party, social, system? Inventory is something different. Oh, it's P, actions and traits. There'll be job ones. For now, it'll be under actions, Blizzard, then fire at level 2, thunder at level 6. And even when you get up to fire 2 and Blizzard 2 and stuff, your job will change and you'll get even more powers. Now we have role jobs, which is the new thing I was telling you guys about. It won't make much sense right now, but it's how you get round having to have a sub job or whatever. Anyway, we've got a little green leaf by our name. We are Exus Spellweaver. Again, a bit cheesy, but I wanted to be referred to as Exus by first name, not Lord Exus or Lord by first name. So we'll carry on. We can't see anyone else playing the game right now because this is the main area, but it's a instant of the main area, tutorializing area. That's why we won't be able to leave it. We have to go to where we're going to go to. We won't see any real life players until after we talk to Momundi. So let's go do that. These are all NPCs. Let's get through Momundi's tutorializing and her exposition. As soon as we've done that, I would have run out of time for the video, so I'll have to leave you guys at that. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momundi, and I own this fine establishment, if it pleases you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Uldar, so you might say that I'm looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you that is. That it is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere caught up in business that you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Almajar, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. No one can say what they're plotting these days, only that they are. And the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all there's worry, a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder it's scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into the 8th hell. Or into an 8th hell. And that is the intro cutscene you saw. It was set 5 years ago, and it had the lesser moon Dalamund being cracked open by Imperial Machinatia, and Bahamut being released and turning the world into scorching flames. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. 'Twas like the end of the world had come at last. But then things begin to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next. Some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is, they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for the realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are just as jumbled as that of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to recall their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. And all I ask is you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise now. I'm counting on you to help me put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand too. Anyway, let us make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. Exus Spellweaver. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. Alright, Mr. Spellweaver, on behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness, I swear. I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given the 4th chance to offend. You two, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy. Well, ain't that a sorry sight, nor an uncommon one if I'm honest. Don't worry though, if you work hard I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of gentlemen's woes with the women folk from time to time. Yeah, that was clearly written by a man. Any road. Welcome to Ul'dah, Exus. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. Complete. So we got through that, guys. It's just getting this initial shit out of the way, which is very boring. It's just a lot of explanation, but I feel like it needs to be read out so we can get our bearings. So, main quest scenario now. Don't need to read about that. And yeah, we're still technically tutorialized because no one else has appeared yet. There will be a lot of people appear here when the tutorial's over. Sorry about that. Still got a horrendous cough. Right, Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. It's another tutorial task. It helps you sort of get used to the city you're in, and each starting area of the game has a person, not Momodi, different person in each place. She hasn't got like twins or whatever, and they will register you and help you get used to each area. So we're going to accept it. Listen to more crap. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform, so as to help you to get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aretherite Plaza. To get there, head west from here and you'll till you reach Emerald Avenue. Then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aretherite. If it weren't for the Arethyrites, travelling around Eorzea, that's the continent we're on, Eorzea, the continent of Eorzea in the world of Hydaelyn, would be a damn sight more troublesome, that is. Of course, you still need to attune with them before you can use them, so be sure that you do that with the one in the plaza. You're never attuned with an Aretherite before, Exus? If not, lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you're done with that, I want you to pay a visit to the Thaumaturges Guild, which is good for us. It's known as the Azaneth Ossuary. Assuming that scepter ain't just for show, you might consider training there. We definitely will. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over at the Steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the gil. Gil being the currency of the game. Just make sure, as you don't pay more than you ought to, Exus. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short, visit the Aretherite Plaza, the Thaumaturges Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. While there are more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try and take advantage of you, there are also some honest-to-goodness problems. There are also some with honest-to-goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. There are a lot of folk are lured to the city by promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realise, instead of chasing after Gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you are willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with the smith over yonder. Those lads are always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it from me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you're finished, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a guilty name. Okay, good. We got all of the talking out of the way. So much dialogue. But it's good. That is what a Final Fantasy game is. All of the story building, world building, and it's what an MMO is as well. We can't get into an MMO without there being a shit ton of tutorial. And if there isn't, it's probably not the best MMO. If someone's taken Monk for a... We can talk to the Smith guy, but I doubt he has any quests for us. And as you can see, people are now appearing. Not as many as when I booted up the game slightly previously. You are tiny. It's a wind-up red mage. You're so small, I can't actually see your face. It's quite crazy cute though. Yeah, not that many people on at this time of day, or maybe just in the starting area of this server, because they asked me to specifically come on this server in order to play double XP and something that's up here. I'm guessing it's an unpopulated server. Experience earned while below level 60 is dramatically increased. Don't know why that is. Maybe they're trying to get people up to higher level. I don't know. There's loads of people on here. So we're here. Nebuna Oda. I like her swords. That is a very nice sword. Same as other MMOs, you can inspect people in that. Mark focus target. Examine. Go. And her sword is... No, that's an earring. Can I see her sword? She's a level 63 samurai. So that's one of the new classes. I can see her equipment. Don't know if I can see her weapon. Doesn't look like I can. But anyway. No, I didn't want to go that way. over here. It happens to be getting to dusk in the sea. Yeah, a little bit populated, not many people kicking around, but enough for now. Lord Hood over there. Someone didn't care that their name was Lord. Anyway. So yeah. That's the end of this episode, guys. Sorry I've run out of time. But there was a lot to cover. Getting into a new MMO. I wanted to cover the beginning bit because a lot of it's tied up with story that's not 100% important. It's all quite generic standard stuff from an MMO. But it still ties up with where we go from here. The next episode, there will be combat. There will be actually doing stuff, even if it's just little destroy the enemies, destroy this amount of monster, do this amount of fetch quests. I'll show you how the Black Mage, or Thaumaturge in this case, works. We don't become a Black Mage until later. And I'll show you how the mechanics work, I guess. I mean, most of you know how an RPG's mechanics work. Most of you know how an MMO's mechanics work. But this is going to be a fresh adventure for both of us, because I want to run through it and I want to get used to it. And I haven't done a DPS class, damage per second class, for people that don't know the terminology, forever. For ages and ages. Last time I played this, I actually done White Mage. I actually done the healer class. So, yeah. I'm going to get in and see if it's going to be fun. Hopefully make a few interesting videos for you guys. But yeah, next episode, I will skip out what you can see here, which is doing the 3 things from Amodi. I'll skip out the basic tutorializing things, and then I'll come back in when I'm at the Mages Guild, or Thaumaturge's Guild, sorry. And I'm starting to do stuff. So that's what I'll do. This random creepy guy's just coming up to me. Stay away. Yeah, weirdo. Just messing. So yeah, with that being said, this has been Final Fantasy XIV Online, A Realm Reborn, Episode 1, guys. I, as always, have been Lord Exus, or in this case, Exus Spellweaver. And I'll see you guys in the next video. In a bit.